Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I thought this morning I'd try using my phone instead of using my tablet just to see if when people start giving me reactions whether that might be better actually for responding. So this morning then, just a quick look at the weather. As always, it is actually very hot this morning, but I've got to be honest, we've got a lovely clear blue sky, which we haven't had in the last few days because of everything that's been going on with the heat wave, which is still going on. Big shout out to Ian Sisterton, who's tuning in at the moment. Nice to see you. So I know it's working now, so I'll be able to see comments from people. But yeah, lovely clear blue sky at the moment. Not this haze that's been there. We've got the heat wave still coming. Let's quickly go to Amanda's concise weather forecast. She says Friday's weather's Ginge, morning, still in the orange, morning for extreme temperatures, sunny and very hot, temperatures 32 degrees, will feel like 35, have a great day. The Ionian Islands and Crete expect to get 38 to 39 degrees Celsius. So yeah, it is going to be hot today, that is for sure. Just a quick look at our little ones. There's Mr. Pickles there. We're a little bit concerned about Mr. Pickles at the moment. Well, Jane is. He's gone very quiet and he's limping a little bit. So I'm under special instructions to keep an eye on him at the moment. So yeah, and then we've got the lovely Sweetie down there with his mum. She's obviously keeping an eye on him as well. Right, okay, let's have a quick look at the news then. Let's see what's been going on in the last 24 hours. There's been a lot happening actually, to be quite honest. So let me just switch the camera around. Once again, morning Heather. Also Ian Moss tuning in. Mandy Jolly Prev is watching in as well. So I'll give you guys a quick wave back. Thank you for tuning in. Right, let's just have a quick look then. Just to remind you, the local fire brigade here in Zakynthos has placed an alert for wildfires and has warned people again to be very careful. Once again, if you're driving about, make sure you don't flick those fag ends out of your car windows because they can cause fires. And also, if you're deciding that you're going to have a barbecue, once again, just be very careful when you do that. Again, that you don't inadvertently start a fire. Make sure you've got some kind of extinguisher on hand, whether it's water or a bucket of water, to make sure that if anything does get out of hand, you can put a fire out. Remember, if you accidentally cause a fire, it's still an offence here in Greece. Information on Wiggy last night. I managed to get a hold of his wife. Wiggy is now out of the ICU and is now back on a general ward. He's still very poorly at the moment, but he is improving. And he's getting there. That's what his wife's saying, but very, very slowly. I've not spoken to him directly, only to his wife. Once again, Wiggy, if you are tuning in, mate, we're all with you 100%, and we hope that you are obviously going to make a recovery. So anyway, you've got a lot of people rooting for you, buddy. Jane today, she's at the shipwreck guiding, all right, so she's been up at the crack of the dawn. That's the reason why the broadcast is early, because I'm normally up early because Jane is up early, going off up to the shipwreck today. I'm not sure how many people she's guiding, but I know it's well over 100 people today going up to see the shipwreck, and I hope to have a lovely day up there. Jane always seems to enjoy her day at the shipwreck anyway. Just a quick reminder, don't forget, tonight I've got my dance anthem show on beatsradio.co.uk. That starts 7 p.m. your time in the UK, which is 9 o'clock my time here in Greece. If you can come and join me, I'll be hovering around in the chat room. It'll be great to have a chat with you and talk to you and see how life is with you as well in the chat room. Anyway, rivals for today, quite a busy day, and we've got one flight in from Athens, we've got one in from Kefalonia, we've got two in from Italy, two in from Amsterdam, four in from Poland, one from the Czech Republic, two from Austria, one from Israel, one from Slovenia, and guess what? We've got one flight in from TUI Manchester, That's at midday today. Can I say a quick hello to Julie White? I know that you're on that flight. You sent me information and pictures. There he goes. And pictures as well of you at Manchester Airport having a drink before boarding the flight. So anyway, looking forward to seeing you guys arrive. Also as well, later this evening, we've got one Ryanair flight in from Stansted, and that's arriving at 7:30 tonight. So once again, 2 flights in from the UK today. Can I say a quick hello to Mr. Atherton that I saw yesterday in Magdalena's. I was back in Magdalena's last night, just chatting to people after the broadcast from the other day and putting that onto the computer in there so they can show that in their own time. It was nice to see quite a few people in there. Again, not as busy. A few Dutch in actually last night, to be quite honest, but we're still waiting obviously for the arrival of the British, like everybody seems to be doing at the moment. Right, let's have a quick look at the COVID stats then within the last 24 hours here in Greece. The numbers are looking a bit worrying in certain areas. New infections are up. 761 new infections across the country. That was from 633 on the day before. One new case was identified into the country, which was exactly the same as the day before. So again, the more testing you're going to do, obviously the more you're going to find. However, considering the amount of tourists that are coming into the country, even though those numbers are down in comparison to other years, only one case was identified at an entry into the port. So what you can say is the tourists are definitely not bringing infection into the country, all right? So obviously that's going to be keeping that Delta variant out. When it comes to the national stats, no figures on Zakynthos at the moment. So at the moment, we can honestly say at the moment we've had no cases so far for the month of July. Considering it's only the 2nd of July, that's a positive. When you consider last month for June, we had 7 cases the whole of the month, which again was good. When it comes to deaths have dropped actually, quite considerably actually. Yesterday we reported 11 deaths across the country. Today only 4 new deaths, bringing the death toll now up to 12,710. Average age of those people passing away, 79 years of age. 96% of them had underlying health issues or were over the age of 70. And once again, our condolences to those families that are affected. But the death rate now has dropped, quite considerably down to a single-digit number of 4, which I think is, again, a step in the right direction. Again, when you look at that, we've had no deaths at all on Zakynthos for July at the moment, and we had no deaths on June in Zakynthos either, which was good considering our last deaths we had was 3 in May, so that's a step in the right direction. That's the watermelon man driving past at the moment, selling his wares. Right, let's have a look at ICUs at the moment. That has actually dropped as well. 196 was what I last reported you. It is now down to 189. That's 126 male and 63 female. So again, for critical cases in ICUs, that number is down as well. Right, let's have a look at the news for today then. Measures were announced during a press conference by the Deputy Civil Protection Minister, Nikos Hardalias, on Thursday. Greece has said that travellers to the Greek islands will, as of the 5th of July, need to display one of the following documents. It must be either a COVID-19 vaccination certificate, proof of recent recovery from the virus, a negative PCR test taken within 72 hours of departure, or a negative rapid test conducted 42 hours before travelling. Now, travellers who are 12 or older are advised to take a self-test before their return trip. He also said they were still reviewing the situation regarding cross-regional travel on the Greek mainland. That is basically people coming from the Greek mainland to the islands. They're still reviewing the measures that they're going to take on that. They said the measures were announced after a meeting of the Health Ministry Committee of Experts on the pandemic. So once again, Greece is making it easier now for you to come here on holiday, and it's not so much about coming here, it's about the going home back to the UK at the moment, and the quarantine issues and being on the orange list, etc, etc. So I can honestly say Greece is making every encouragement to try and get more people to the country. However, we'll see how that stands with Angela Merkel and the Germans, whether they're still going to try and block Brits abroad, as they have made lots of noise about so far. Anyway, also as well, Greece will start vaccinating teenagers once it gets the go-ahead from medical experts, and will require vaccination certificates or negative tests from everyone heading to its islands from Monday, authorities have announced. Athens earlier this week offered those aged 18 to 25 a cash in exchange for getting a shot. But Vanna Papadopoulos, a member of the Committee of Infectious Diseases experts advising the government, said they were now considering advising the government to target youngsters aged 15 to 17. June has been an exceptional month, she said. Cases dropped by 75%. But the drop had halted lately, probably due to the Delta variant or the loosening of health rules. A small rise in infections last week and concerns over the more contagious Delta variant also prompted the government to impose stricter rules to cover the islands. The Delta variant is 100% more contagious than the original virus and 40 to 60% more contagious than the British variant, said Papalongiou. I've got to be honest, I'm still not struck on this at the moment. You're doing everything you can to make sure that people are coming into the country safe. People are testing before they're arriving. Already the figures are showing at the moment that tourists are not bringing in this Delta variant. They're on about increasing Delta variant numbers, but as yet I haven't seen any figures here in Greece to say where the Delta variant has been detected, how much of the Delta variant has been detected. It seems to be that they're banging the rattle for the Delta variant, and I've got a feeling some of these experts are praying that the Delta variant actually turns out that they can turn around and say, well, I told you we were right all along. But I'm just not seeing with those numbers. Anyway, she also come back to say the question now is how to delay the spread until vaccinations advance more, she said. The Deputy Civil Protection Minister, Nikos Hardalias, said curbs to contain any surges of the pandemic would be localised. About 44% of Greeks over the age of 18 have been vaccinated, and the country has been easing restrictions as infections fall. So I'm just going to quickly wave back to these people just so that I'm not sure if the broadcast is slowing just a little bit, but yeah, I see I'm back online again. Right, Greece's top administrative court, this is another COVID-related story, has dismissed an application from parents and teachers in primary and secondary education for an injunction against mandatory self-tests for COVID-19 in schools here in Greece. Now, the Council of State announced its decision again yesterday. They heard the injunction application filed by 50 parents and teachers on June the 22nd. The group asked for the overturning of the May the 18th ministerial decision, which was obliging students and teachers to present negative COVID-19 self-tests every week in order to attend schools. The tests are distributed free of charge in pharmacies. But in its decision, the Council of State said its ruling was based on reasons of public interest. The measure, it said, serves compelling reasons for public interest, namely the protection of public health during the recent and return to schools under conditions of the pandemic. The formal publications of the verdict are still pending. Earlier this week, the same court rejected the case taken by a group of firefighters who had opposed to mandatory vaccination against COVID-19. So again, people are still taking the issue over the self-testing. To be honest, I have no problem with self-testing. I think self-testing is a good move. However, mandatory vaccination, that to me is wrong. That should be your choice. But self-testing, I think, is okay. Again, if it's going to help stop the spread, it's going to help stop the spread. But having to forcibly be mandatory vaccinated, no, I'd rather you had that choice, and that is your choice because it's your body at the end of the day. Now, this is the view of what's going on with tourism within Greece at the moment. The summer tourism season is vital to southern Europe's economies and will be less than sizzling as the Delta corona spreads and travels and hurdles keep British and other sun seekers at home. In Greece, where tourism makes up a fifth of the economy, the Central Bank of Greece this week cited concerns over new variants as it cut its forecast for 2021 tourism revenues from 50% to 40% from those of 2019, when it welcomed a record 33 million visitors. Anyway, Georgios Tassos, who's head of the Greece's Hoteliers Association, said the average occupancy rate at hotels across the country was currently 35 to 45%, a rate he saw persisting through early July. He said bookings have frozen clearly because the uncertainty over COVID and particularly the Delta variant lately. I would disagree in some ways with that. Looking at the British market, it's not so much about the Delta variant. They're trying to use this as an excuse. Basically, it is decisions that have to be made by the government, the British government, to allow people to travel. That's the bottom line of it. People are making it very clear at the moment that they want to travel. And we've already seen the two-tier system with the Euro at the moment, with the football, where it's all right for one lot to travel because you're going to watch football and you're a VIP, but if you're just an ordinary fan who wants to go and follow the game, you're penalised. Or again, let's get real about this. There are people who are looking to make excuses to say Delta variant, the Delta variant, when in fact people have had enough. People want to travel. People have done what they've asked. They've had the vaccine. They've stayed locked down. They've worked from home. They've done everything the government has asked them, only to watch the government go off and do its own thing, oblivious to everybody else. We're talking about the Hancocks, the Whitties, and Boris Johnson, even Mitsotakis and the people here as well, off doing their own thing while everybody has to follow the rules, but they have a different set of rules for themselves. What people want is freedom. They want to be able to move, they want to be able to go somewhere on holiday, and they want to do it with the minimum amount of fuss, the minimum amount of hassle of sitting there on edge because you're waiting for a PDF form to come back. You're waiting for the result of a PCR test, even though you may have had 2 vaccines as well. This is the reality. People want to go on holiday. They want to be able to get away. Minimum fuss, minimum hassle. But those in the powers that be are still, I think, looking forward to another lockdown, another re-exertion of their power over everybody else, so that whatever their little hidden agendas are behind the smokescreen of Delta and all the other variants, they keep going, doing what they're doing. Anyway, that's my rant for the morning. But another interesting story again, and I did actually cover this story, I think about 2 weeks ago actually, the body of a French national who went missing in southwestern Crete last week was found by a rescue team on Thursday in a ravine approximately 5 kilometres from Epheslini Island, which is just off the tip of Crete, the southwestern tip of Crete. Now, the 29-year-old woman was holidaying on the island when she disappeared sometime around June the 24th, when she last spoke to her parents, informing them that she'd intended to visit Epheslini, which can be accessed by walking along a narrow strip of water. Authorities were alerted on Tuesday about her disappearance, and a search party was put together to comb an area between Kyros and Palafahora, which is southwest of the town of Hania, where her car and personal items were found on Thursday morning. So again, our condolences to the family. No information about cause of death or anything else like that, only that her body had been found. And finally, a nice interesting story. A Greek 13-year-old girl named Marietta Desari. She won the Global Literature Competition, which is hosted by the Writers' Union of Northern Greece. Now, the young writer is from Heraklion in Crete, who has just finished her first year of middle school and is already wowing influential figures in literature with her work about the Greek Revolution of 1821, which everybody is aware is a big celebration that is going on throughout the year here in Greece. She, according to the report, she especially loves to read Greek writers, including Caffrey and Vizillonos, and has a passion for history and literature. She also mentions that she prefers modern Greek history and that she therefore reads a great deal about 1821. So she's probably read about Zakynthos in that stories as well. Anyway, her winning story made her feel a kinship to the characters that she has created, and she was also, she said it was a way to pass the time in quarantine as well. So she wrote her book while in quarantine. She said, it was a difficult year for us, spending it in front of the computer screen. I think, however, that one can travel both with thought and imagination. At least that's how I tried to travel. And the short story I wrote helped me do that. Anyway, it will be interesting, this is according to the report, to see how the young lady grows as a writer and a historian. And remember, she's only 13 years of age as well. So again, good on you, girl. I think that's absolutely fantastic. A nice little bit of joy considering everything that has been going on. Right, it looks like I've got loads of comments here, and I can actually see the comments. And the comments, when I'm using my tablet, just seem to get all out of sync with messages. I'm just going to say a quick hello to my old mate Rocky Regan, who's tuning in at the moment. Nice to see you there, buddy. Carolyn Davis says, morning Ginge, we should have been on our way to stay at the Planet Hotel today. Oh, bless you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that, Caroline. See, that's it. A lot of people are just really frustrated because some people get to go on holiday, other people don't get to go on holiday. What you've got to remember, you've got businesses obviously that are running all of this, and also locations within the UK. Depends where you were flying from in the UK. I can understand why they're concentrating on the larger hubs like Manchester, Liverpool, London, Gatwick Airport, and pushing people through there. As long as they gave you the option to maybe have your holiday moved to a different time or a different location for your flight, I can understand that. But hopefully, Caroline, you will get here at some point. Big shout out to Bob Cave, my old Raff Reg buddy there. Good morning, Ginge. Hope you are well, mate. I am doing fantastically, fella. Nice to see you. Sean Webb is watching as well, another Raff Reg buddy. Sam Curtis over there in Brighton says, good morning, Ginge. Lovely sunny day here. Looking forward to dance anthems later. So am I, actually, to be honest. I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes across and how that sounds. Lisa Saunders says, in my eyes, it's about the cost of testing and uncertainty that they'll be back in time. Holidays are about relaxation, and anxiety around the above is one of the reasons I've moved flights. Do you know what? I agree totally with you there, Lisa. You come on holiday, you come here to relax. You don't come here to sit with your phone wondering if your PDF form application is going through okay, and when you get to the airport there's not going to be some kind of problem with that when you're being checked in and hustled through when you finish your holiday and you go back to the UK. Again, it's just the bureaucracy of it. I think that is the more annoying thing. Getting your test done, but it's the bureaucracy, the filling in forms, tracking your every movement, where you're going, what time you're on your flight, where have you been, who have you been in contact with. That is not what about going on holiday is about. So I can feel for your pain there, Lisa. I really can. Lyndon says, totally agree about travel. Can't wait. Thank you, my fella. Graham Middleton says, calm down, Ginge, it's Friday. Woo-hoo. Thank you, Mr. Iggy. A voice of reason in the madness that's going on at the moment. Thank you for that. Who else have we got here? Heather Nash says, getting lots of interruptions today. Yeah, they're obviously trying to censor me there. The internet at the moment has been absolutely shocking on the island. You can understand why I don't do live shows very often, because it's just unreliable. Shane Bowen up there in Exmoor is tuning in. Steve Hinkling over there in Stoke-on-Trent. I think you're supposed to be here this week, aren't you, Steve? He's another guy who's had his holiday moved at least 3 or 4 times. Emma Kate is also watching as well. Anthony Stoker says, morning Ginge from a sunny Sunderland again. Great news for our region yesterday regarding Nissan. Tony and Donna, I don't know what the news is regarding your Nissan plant. Is it staying open? Hopefully it is. Or is it expanding? Because that would be great news. And they're not going to build one over in Germany or somewhere like that. They're going to keep it in Britain. Anyway, Ian Stepson has said, Tui Flop from Manchester is on the way. Our friends Diane and John are on it, and they're staying in our Gassy. Absolutely fantastic. More people on their way. That's what we want to hear. Will Bland is watching. Barbara Telfer is watching. Hilly Rogers is watching. I'm so pleased your cat came back, and it's okay, my darling. Thank you for that good bit of news. Heather Nash says, good morning. It's okay, but not as good as your tablet. Get some interference when you move about. But okay when you're sitting down. Thank you for that. Anyway, thank you. Jerry Coyle is watching as well. Mandy Jolly, previously Hatton says, good morning, Mr. Pickles, have a lovely day. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Mr. Pickles. He's not been on form, actually, to be honest. And Jane said he was limping a little bit, but he's just down here at the moment. Let's see if we can see Mr. Pickles. Let's have a look. There he is. He's under there. Are you all right, little fella? Are you okay? I'm going to check you over, because the last thing we want is a thing called kitten fade. I don't know if you've ever heard of kitten fade. Kitten fade is something that happens to cats, or sorry, to kittens. Basically, they're all full of beans, full of life, and then all of a sudden, their organs just start to shut down. They just basically start to die, basically. And the reason for that, lots of reasons, is the fact that they didn't get proper nutrients from their mother when they were first born. The antibodies within their body didn't get a good build-up. And it is a bit of a mystery still as to why it occurs, but it does occur, and it's something that Jane and I are very aware of. But he's been very lucky, because he's been born in the house. He's had his mother with him, although his mother's not in the best of health. She has been absolutely brilliant. So I'm hoping that with everything that she's done, she has obviously given him what he needs to help him survive. Maybe we're just being a little bit over worried, because you know what you like when you've got little babies. Anyway, morning Ginge, morning Mr. Pickles. Marie Hallberg over in Sweden is tuning in as well. Lovely to have you looking in. I hope everything's good over there at the moment. Ian Sisterton is also says morning. Heather Nash is watching, and anybody else, any other comments? I'm just going to check the other end for any more comments as well. John Clifford down there in Kalamaki is looking in as well. James Furphy says, keep up the good work, buddy. Thank you very much for that. And Gaz Collins, the old Raffridge buddy, he's tuning in as well. Hope you're doing well, mate. I hope you're going to be able to get over here at some point through the year. And Jerry Coyle says, morning, mate. Afraid to say, been in Malta Sunday, not going to be the same. See you in September. So at least they're coming in September. I heard Malta were causing all sorts of problems where they weren't recognising the National Health Service app. Saying that wasn't good enough as a proof of vaccine. But I think there might be another nation who are trying to stay in with the EU because they're going to be wanting bailout money and support from the EU because obviously they're not been having a good season. And again, Malta, always very much a British holiday destination as well. So they must be feeling the effects of what's going on in the same way that Zakynthos is. And once again, I just want to re-emphasise this. Zakynthos' main market is the British market. Greece's main market as an overall is the German market, all right? And Zakynthos, as we are, we do things our own way here on this island. So for us, when the Mitsotakis talks about other, markets and the Germans and blah, 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 that's great for the whole of the country. But for Zakynthos, we're a bit of an exception. No, the British market is our main market. and their presence not being here, trust me, is so greatly felt. Every business that you talk to, everybody you talk with, they all say the same thing. When are the British coming? When are the British coming? We need the British, we need the British. The other nations are okay, but they don't spend like the British do. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Right, thanks for tuning in. I'll keep my ear to the ground. I'll be interested to see how this actually plays back using my phone. The nice thing is that I can get the comments from you very much easier. I'm not sure what the quality's like when it'll get uploaded onto YouTube. I've done it in the past, and I must admit I've not been overly impressed with the quality. But then again, just to get the message out, get the word out, and then obviously, yeah, quality is a bonus basically. But I will leave it there. You have a great day. You enjoy yourselves. I'll keep my ear to the ground. Once again, thank you to all those people who still send me information, still give me heads up as to what's happening in regards to them getting to Zakynthos and their holiday bookings and everything else. I greatly appreciate that, and it also keeps us in some ways a little bit a step ahead of other people in the way of getting you the information that you require, and for you to make your decisions about coming on holiday. And I feel very humbled that you still come to me to ask my advice on such issues. So again, thank you for that. Right, that's it from me. I'm going now. I'm going to keep an eye on Mr. Pickles. He's been walking about. He's having a drink now, which is good. And I will speak to you again soon. You take care. Oh, and have a good weekend as well. Ta-ra.